Just so you guys know, there are literally people out there right now that are trying their best to sabotage Miami athletics. They're trying to make us look bad and rile us all up, turning the fans against each other. So take everything you hear, including here on this channel, with a grain of salt. Use your brain and continue to voice your opinion. What's going on, Canes fans, and welcome to another AD and head coaching update video for the Miami Hurricanes. I promised you that throughout the week I was going to upload little short videos, keeping you guys up to date in the loop with what is going on as long as I have any new updates. I'm going to try my best to keep these videos short and informative and just use them to keep people up to date that maybe are out of the loop a little bit, because not everybody is out there, refreshing Twitter and scouring the internet looking for news and updates. So this might be the very first time or the first place that they hear this information. So let's dive right into it. I can confirm for you guys today that there was a second round of interviews for the athletic director position, and some of the people that were in the room were there for their second interview. We've talked a lot over the last few weeks on this channel about former Louisville athletic director Tom Jurich. Now, that's still on the table. It's not impossible, but it seems to have lost a lot of steam. The biggest thing that I want to talk about in this video is the fact that there are some new names now being thrown into the mix that are big time contenders for this position, guys that could absolutely get this job. And the first one on the list that's popping up everywhere is none other than Gino Torretta. And yes, it is the Gino Torretta that you're thinking of, the former Miami Hurricanes quarterback who won 2 national championships and won the Heisman. Obviously, his ties to Miami in the past is a huge plus because our administration typically prefers Miami guys. It's just facts. He's currently 51 years old, and that's a huge plus for me because he's a little bit younger than some of these other guys that we've been interviewing. Now, what might be a red flag for some of you, and myself included, is the fact that he doesn't have any previous athletic director experience. Throughout his career after the NFL, he's been a senior financial advisor and worked in media and asset management. So I'm kind of torn on this one. I understand that he has a lot going for him, and a lot of people are going to love him purely for the fact that, he played for Miami in the late 80s and early 90s, and he won a national championship and won the Heisman, and, has all of this background at Miami with Miami. He's a Miami guy, right? But I was really hoping for someone with a lot of experience. Now, on the other hand, you could argue that there's not really necessarily a specific blueprint for an athletic director. And what I mean by that is there are tons of athletic directors out there that purely just had experience in, the financial field or fundraising fields or other various things like that of that nature, and have stepped up and actually been big time successful ADs. It's very possible. Now, another name that's been popping up a lot today, and it's someone that we discussed in yesterday's update video, is Eddie Nunez. Now, in yesterday's video, I wasn't super familiar with Eddie Nunez, and I made that known in the video. I didn't hide from that fact that I didn't know a whole lot about the dude. But since then, I've done some research on him, and I have to say that his resume is actually quite impressive. It makes a lot of sense why we would be interested in this guy and why we would interview him. He actually grew up in Miami and graduated from the University of Florida back in 1998. Now, I know some of you guys are going to boo and be upset because he graduated from Florida, but let's be real here. The education, depending on what it was, is actually a big time part of getting this position. And I say that because the education that he has is a bachelor's in sports management and a master's in sports administration. That's exactly what he needs to be doing this job. Now, if that's not enough for you, he was previously the basketball admin assistant at Marquette, and then he spent 14 years, yes, 14 total years, as the deputy director of athletics at LSU. Now, for the last 5 years, he's actually been the AD over at the University of New Mexico. And I'm just going to be straight up and honest here. I think that this guy could be a fantastic fit at the University of Miami because, once again, he grew up in the Miami area. So I guess technically you could label him as a Miami guy. I know that he graduated from the University of Florida. I realize he didn't play football at the University of Miami, but he did grow up in the area. And just the fact that he has a very lengthy resume and has a ton of experience under his belt, which again is something that just me personally, Coop, is looking for. He's also only in his late 40s, and you guys know how I feel about these 65 and 70-year-old ADs. I like the fact that he's a little bit younger, and also the fact that I'm telling you, he's currently the AD at the University of New Mexico. You best believe if offered the job at the University of Miami, the man is gonna take it. Now, I know it's tough right now, Canes fans, because we're all a little impatient and we see all of these other schools making these big splash hires when it comes to head coaches. But we've got to get this athletic director hire correct. And I understand that to an extent, time is of the essence. Time is our biggest enemy in all of this. But at the same time, we also have to take a little extra time to make sure that we hire the right guy. And I do believe, even though they've messed up a lot in the past, they have, and we have plenty of reasons to not trust this administration. But I do believe that they don't want to have to do this again anytime soon, and they just want to make sure that they review all of their options and lay everything out on the table and interview and review every single potential candidate. And just to put it out there, I still firmly believe that Alonzo Highsmith will be involved in some sort of capacity, and it is still also possible that he could take over as the full-on athletic director depending on how these interviews go. I think that Alonzo Highsmith is still a top candidate. This is in no particular order. I do think that Tom Jurich is still a possibility. Dan Radakovich from Clemson is still an option. And then now also Gino Torretta and Eddie Nunez have probably kind of pushed up time for that 1 and 2 spot. And I realize, guys, that things keep shifting around, but that's why I want to do these videos daily or every other day or anytime there's any sort of news involving this, because this stuff is changing minute to minute, guys. And I'm not going off of insider type stuff. I don't ever join any of the Twitter spaces. If you guys do those and you enjoy those, more power to you. It's just not personally my thing. So this stuff is just changing day to day. And it's exciting times, but it's also scary times, and we're all getting a little impatient. But that's really all the news that I have right at this current moment when it comes to the athletic director. But let's move on over and just quickly end on the head coaching update. So Manny Diaz is still currently employed right now, November 30th, 9:07 p.m. at the time of filming this video. Now tomorrow on December 1st, his buyout drops by roughly $2 million. I've made this known many times that I believe it's the right choice to wait until the buyout drops by $2 million, because these guys didn't become millionaires and billionaires by just throwing millions of dollars around on buyouts and other various things. So we don't even have an athletic director right now, guys. So it makes sense. They want the athletic director to make this decision. They want him to come in, give him just a little bit of time to evaluate the entire situation, and then let him make the call. So if possible, if it comes down to it, there's a delay in hiring the athletic director, they could go ahead and pull the trigger on Manny and fire him. They could if they really, truly wanted to. But I think that it makes the most sense that they get an athletic director in, possibly by the end of this week, if they can wrap everything up. That's going to be the goal. Evaluate everything, and by the end of next week, decide on Manny Diaz's fate. I understand that the early signing period is coming up, but I think at this point, the athletic director hire and the head coaching update / firing, whatever this thing is going to be, is actually of the utmost importance and priority number one. I do think that Manny Diaz still gets fired. So many people are believing that he's not going to, just because all these other schools are making splash hires and it looks like we're not making any moves. I firmly believe that we are making moves, but it's kind of in silence. It's under the table, and we've just been quiet about it, and everything is going to come out just news after news after news, and it's going to seem like things are just firing on all cylinders and we're making these moves quick, when in all actuality, these things have been in motion over the last few weeks and months. So there's no reason to get into talks when it comes to potential head coaching hire in this one, because most of the updates are in regards to the athletic director search, which is the first thing that we need to take care of. Mario Cristobal is still on the table, though. I'm telling y'all, he's just got more important things to worry about right now. Is it a long shot? Yes, but it is an actual, real possibility. But you guys know, oh, you know, I don't even need to say it. I can just make the motion and you guys understand. But there are other people as well when it comes to head coaching hires that would be options as well. But we got to get this athletic director in here. At this point, I'm going to be straight up. Given that I don't like to pretend like I'm some type of insider, I think that I'm actually even done making predictions when it comes to this athletic director thing. Once again, it's day to day. More names keep getting tossed into the pot. One day, one guy's at number one, and then the next day, he's not even being considered at all, aka Tom Jurich, because of the scandal stuff. But then it's like, actually, okay, maybe he is still a real possibility, because in another interview, you know, they really liked the guy. And then there's the butting heads with the search firm, with Turnkey and the University of Miami. So I'm not even going to make a prediction. What I'm going to do is just fill you guys in on potential candidates, their background, what they bring to the table, and then if there have been any changes, and we're just going to roll with it like that. So sometimes these videos will be one a day. Sometimes I might go 2 or 3 days without one. If there's no news, we'll just feel it out and see how things go. So continue to chop it up down in the comment section below. What do you think about these other guys, Eddie Nunez and Gino Torretta? I would actually personally probably lean more towards Eddie Nunez, but that's just me personally. Nothing against Torretta. Remember, though, guys, we're all one big happy college football family, but at the end of the day, I got to say, it's always better when you get to rep the U. Coach Coop, peace out. I'll see y'all in the next one.